The American church really is gay.
Are you asking me out on a date?
Effeminate.
The Bible appears more to whisper when it comes to sexual sin.
Shallow.
I said, I want the African American 7.
And full of cowardly leaders.
Are we going to keep bickering over secondary issues?
America desperately needs to return to the Father. Either we fall on the rock and are broken, or we fall on the ground and are crushed under that rock. To fall on top of the rock and be broken is exactly the condition in which God brings reformation and revival. So which way is it, Prodigal America? Are you coming home to the Father? Join us this Reformation Day in Fort Worth, Texas, October 31st through November 2nd at Will Rogers Event Center, just days before our presidential election. And join with the thousands of us for the blessing of gathering together with God's people and celebrating God's goodness with beer and psalms. Hear from speakers such as Dr. James White, Pastor Toby Sumter, Pastor Doug Wilson, Dr. George Grant, Gabe Knox, Steve Dace, and more. Don't forget our Business Makers Conference, Jumpy Castles for the kiddos, after parties, single events, the Pastor's Luncheon, the Business Leaders Luncheon, and many more surprises coming. America has squandered her inheritance far too long. It's time she repents and returns home to her Father. Fight, Laugh, Feast presents Prodigal America. Hey y'all, welcome to Cross Politics on the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Party like it's 1776 is our magazine that just came out. Make sure you sign up.
76.
Wow. We need a party like that more and more these days.
Look at those guys partying.
I know, they're just happy.
Going to war.
I'm gonna party like it's 2024.
And don't forget, like it's 2024, like it's Project 2024.
Our parties are better now. We have electricity.
Heritage Books gave us some more books.
What?
They actually sent it to the Cross Politic Boys.
Oh,
that's what this says on our ad.
Are we friends with them again?
That's our label. We always were.
Were we?
Just one donor didn't like us.
Oh,
that was it.
Okay.
So
we're friends again.
They sent us. This is actually kind of a really cool.
I like them.
That's a long.
Here, go ahead and open up while I'm talking. Yeah,
oh my goodness.
They sent us.
Yeah, we friends.
Puritan treasures for today. So it's got. Let me just start here. It's got stinking.
Careful.
Owen on. This is the book that really.
Owen Strand?
No,
they can keep that one.
Rules for Walking in Fellowship by Owen.
Owen who?
The other one?
John Owen.
Oh, okay.
All
right. I'm just
the
making sure.
John Owen.
Puritan John Owen.
There's a good John Owen book in here.
Gracious,
but anyways,
look at
it's
this.
Puritan treasures. Okay. So there should be a copy for each of us for each label. Of
Cure
the
for unjust anger. Yeah. I'm in. Okay.
Why did you give this one to me?
They're going to be.
What are you trying to say?
The fading of the flesh and the flourishing of faith. Okay.
We're going to be sending out some emails on their behalf over the next couple months,
and
so be checking that out. And these books, Puritan treasures. I'm actually excited to get through some of these and everything. Yeah,
all that there's multiple copies of this. This is just a bunch. This is like a whole set.
Are you sure they're not like 3 packages? Like each one is like for one of us?
I might have missed. Yeah, there should be.
That's what it is.
I think those are all mine.
Doggone it.
I think here you go, Knox. I think.
See, this is all the same ones. These are the same ones.
Let me hold on that.
Where did mine go?
No. These are all different.
That's yours then. That's yours.
No, but they're all different.
They're not the same.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be all
different.
This is
a lot of.
Yeah. So, but we thought maybe there was multiple copies for each of us.
Yes.
So this is one. Advancing Christian Unity.
There we go.
Need that one.
Yeah. All right.
All of life for God.
Prizing public worship.
Almost for all of life.
We'll divvy them up later.
Yeah.
We'll arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Not so long ago, the American dream was alive and well. Employees who worked hard were rewarded, and employers looked for people who could do the job, not for people who had the right political views. RedBalloon.work is a job site designed to get us back to what made American businesses successful: free speech, hard work, and having fun. If you're a free speech employer who wants to hire employees who focus on their work and not identity politics, then post a job on RedBalloon.work. If you're an employee who's being censored at work or is being forced to comply with the current zeitgeist, post your resume on RedBalloon.work and look for a new job today. RedBalloon.work, the job site where free speech is still alive. RedBalloon.work.
So good to be back.
I think one of my ideas of, and this maybe anybody we hire here at Cross Politic has to read through
this,
all the Puritan books.
Yeah. The Puritan Treasures, as Reformation Heritage Book calls it.
Turn and Live by Nathaniel Vincent.
Stop Loving the World.
Contentment, Prosperity, God's Glory. Jeremiah Burroughs.
This is
classic.
Oh, there we go.
Anyways, all right. So if you guys caught our show yesterday, we talked a lot about kind of like the Secret Service and some of the Hill briefings with the Secretary of Chief.
I don't even know what I said.
Not yet. Not yet. The show, you got to check it out yesterday, Toby.
Okay.
But so there's the Democratic Party's on fire right now. I mean, the hair's on fire, everything about it. Biden, he doesn't even know if he stepped down or not yet.
He knows now.
Maybe. We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
I want to know where Kamala was. Did she put the pillow on his face? I want to know. There's questions out there. We need answers.
Yeah.
We need to see the president. We need to see the president.
I'm just saying.
Then not like a weekend at Bernie's, hand wave kind of.
Yeah. There he is.
We've been seeing that for a couple months.
Yeah, right.
So, but there's a lot going on in the Republican Party that we don't want to miss in these conversations. So Democrats on fire and all that stuff. We already noted that the GOP kind of changed their documents to kind of better line up with Trump. Their platform to better line up with Trump in kind of his little more centrist.
Was it Rubio that said that he did an interview and said, "Hey"?
Yeah, we played that clip where he's like the platform should reflect the leader.
Yeah,
or something like that.
And that's not how it's supposed to be.
I mean, you're just going to follow each leader then and change and adjust. It's always going to be moving target.
Yeah.
It's not good. And so Trump has actually put out Agenda 47.
Agenda 47.
And Agenda 47 came out sometime before last June.
Yep.
So June 2023. Because that's when I first started seeing documentation on Agenda 47 was last June.
Okay.
And then Trump kind of tweeted this out last week.
Okay.
And to kind of summarize what Agenda 47 is all about. Agenda 47 is more than this. He gets into education, all this other stuff, and Agenda 47. But this is kind of like his big focus.
Okay.
Which is?
Seal the border, stop the migrant invasion, carry out the latest deportation operation in America, end inflation, make America affordable again. Make America affordable again.
I'm glad you tried that.
I tried.
That was really helpful.
Stop outsourcing.
That's how I feel about that too.
Exactly.
Wait, can we go back to number 4 real quick? I just want to point something out. David Bonson said this. He said that Trump was the greatest president for the energy sector.
Yeah.
And nothing changed in the energy sector. Biden, worst president for the energy sector.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
What do you mean nothing changed?
Like the sector still did what it did. It was still primarily
gas
successful.
prices did go up under Biden.
Right, but the energy sector itself.
COVID and Biden.
Sure, but the energy sector itself, like he says,
what
that there was.
What does it mean they did nothing?
That I think that they really didn't advance either way, depending on who the president was. They basically, I think for the most part, maintained
the oil pipeline. There's a bunch of stuff that
you can ask Bonson.
Yeah.
Trump, I thought he cut some red tape, and then Biden,
I'm mad at you on behalf of what Bonson just said.
I'm just telling you, Bonson said that it really didn't.
No, Biden got into office and his first day signed some executive orders that screwed a bunch of stuff up.
I'm sure of it. That's what he does.
So
I'm just telling you what David Bonson
did something.
Not according to Bonson.
David can't answer for Bonson.
Who can? Nobody answers for Bonson.
Actually, I loved what he tweeted when he was like, "Hey, can we still have that second Biden Trump debate?
I'm in for that one.
Is there some way we can still have them do that debate? Even if he's out?
I think David's point was that the energy sector, for the most part, wasn't moved depending on who the president of the United States was. It's still maintained for the most part.
I would like to cross-examine that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. He might be right. Yeah. I mean, he's right.
Well, he does have $6 billion he trades around there.
Okay, so this is, and then of course, tax cuts is a big thing. If you get into deeper into his Project 47, he has tons of stuff on education.
Okay.
Tons for homeschoolers. He wants to give homeschoolers a $10,000 tax credit. Is that what you saw earlier, Knox?
I didn't see that. You saw that.
Maybe that's somewhere back in my head that shouldn't be there. But there's a bunch he had for homeschoolers, a bunch for education, a bunch for the DEI.
I don't like it when presidents start talking about homeschooling.
I know.
But it makes me nervous.
You go to his agenda. You go to his website. Actually, Trump, his campaign website, and he has specific stuff on homeschooling. I know he's got an official Agenda 47 website.
I want you to end the Department of Education. That's it.
Yeah. Just
stop.
Get the federal hands out.
About education.
I will say that Trump has more equity right now to end Department of Education, to end the FBI, all these things, in ways he never had before in the past. Prevent World War III and weaponization of government against the American people. That's obviously Trump's experienced that. Stop migrant crime epidemic, which all goes back into the border stuff. Yep. So that was kind of a summary of Project 47. Like I said, there's a lot more detail there, but I thought that summary was helpful. Now, Project, okay, that's Agenda 47.
Did you say number 9?
Number 9, end weaponization of government against the American people. Yes.
Kind of important. especially pro-life folks.
FBI. That was the FBI bit.
Yeah, and again, listen to our show yesterday. We talked about a lot about the Secret Service.
Sure.
And so that's Project, Agenda 47. And then now there's Project 2025. People are not calling it, like I said last week, Project 25.
Okay.
And this is a bunch of conservative think tanks got together and said that, basically they do this thing to kind of steer the president a little bit. They want to steer things.
Heritage Society.
Heritage was involved in it and so forth. Yeah. There's more than just
sure.
that thing.
I think they were at the top, though.
Yeah. And so they do this. They put out these things, I think, to kind of help steer the president. Or they hope.
Or at least the platform.
He gets the arrow of the platform. Yeah. That's right. And so Project 2025 is similar to Agenda 47, not in all the details, but you kind of read through it. It talks about immigration and stuff like that. But here is Trump talking about Project 25.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it.
Oh, he doesn't want to know anything about it. Okay.
So basically that was the end of his comments about Project 25. But you actually read through it, and there's some similar stuff between his Agenda 47 and Project 2025. There's actually not tons of conflict that I've seen. But I think...
But probably abortion would be one of the areas.
This goes back to the GOP platform.
Right.
The GOP platform follows the leader apparently now, as Marco Rubio said, and I think J.D. Vance said the similar comments before he became officially VP. But the GOP platform has now changed to be more centrist, to where abortion is the national ban on abortion is a 40-year platform embedded policy.
Yeah, for the Republican
Party. Yeah, they took that national ban out this last GOP convention, and the same thing for gay marriage. The same thing.
Where they took out the definition of marriage between one man and one woman.
Yeah. So, and what they really did was they just kind of took out language that was proactively defining everything. Yeah. But they didn't add any, let's say, as we would say, negative language, negative definition with including same-sex marriage, negative abortion.
It's still vaguely,
stuff like that.
I mean, it's still vaguely pro-life. It still says the 14th Amendment applies to everybody, and it says the states are free to protect that.
That's right.
But the striking thing is it takes out the call for a federal ban on abortion, which had been in the RNC platform for 40 years.
And so it's no secret to us that Trump would do this.
Right.
I mean, Trump, he's been steered. Some of his comments have obviously been steered about abortion. Remember, at one point he wanted abortion to be murder and murder to be a capital punishment crime. Remember, that was in one of his debates. So he's been steered by comments, but generally speaking, we've always known Trump to be some sort of centrist. And here's his son Eric. After they're actually when someone interviews him, I forget what's her name, the NBC gal, but she's interviewing Eric, kind of about this centrist stance.
The Republican platform, interestingly, has moved to the center on a couple of key issues. For the first time in 40 years, the Republican platform does not call for a federal abortion ban. It no longer defines marriage as between one man and one woman, but it doesn't. So is this a sign that your father is moving to the center in some ways or on some issues?
Yes, I think he's always been there on those issues, to tell you the truth. And I think that's reflective of who my father is and what he believes in. And I think that's reflective of my wife, Laura, who runs the RNC, and clearly what she believes in. And I'm proud of the party. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, this country has real holes in the roof, and you've got to fix those holes, and you've got to stop worrying about the little, spot on the wall in the basement. You've got to fix those holes, and we've got real immigration problems.
Abortion really is a real hole in the roof, though.
Yeah.
Like that's a real problem. It's the very beginning of how we understand a human being. Like at the beginning, what is this thing and what is it for?
Right.
That's a.
It's not a spot.
It's not a. It's kind of a real problem.
60 million spots.
Yeah.
Well, he's right though. Trump. This is probably where Trump has been all along. I mean, he's done rallies with Pride people. All along.
Yeah.
But that's. Go ahead, Pastor. I'm sorry.
But and so I think philosophically, judicially, he's absolutely wrong, and it's a really bad analogy in most respects, because morally speaking, if you cannot define a human being, then you're kind of shot. Like how you can have a country. My only like tiny little sliver of I'll give you a little bit here if I have to is tactically, I can see a place for. I mean, if illegal immigration continues as it is, we're never going to get abortion fixed.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that work the other way either?
What do you mean?
If you get abortion fixed, wouldn't you get illegal immigration fixed?
Yeah. No, I think it would work morally because you'd have God's blessing, and so on. But I don't think I think I can imagine somebody tactically saying right now we need to keep incrementally calling for the end of abortion. We need to keep saying. Knocking away at it. But I can also see somebody saying, but if we don't end the flood of illegal immigrants, we're not going to even get there.
Okay.
Tactically. I mean, that's not, again, I'm not defending his analogy because I don't think abortion is just a spot on the wall in the basement. I do think it's another one of the holes in the roof. But I also think you're not even getting a chance to have that conversation tactically on the ground. And meanwhile, of course, you got to keep preaching end abortion now.
Yeah.
You got to keep running the place. You got to keep doing that.
Well, I want you to read the ad, and then I want to tell you what there's a bigger problem to this than just that for me, because that's still a problem for me.
Okay. Do you have a podcast, or are you thinking about starting one? Does your church have a podcast feed or sermons? Then dropwave.io is for you. Cancel culture is like walking on thin glass bridge over the Grand Canyon. Every step you take could get you killed. I mean, canceled. Since the beginning, CrossPolitic has been working on being anti-fragile. So no matter what happens, our content can still be delivered to your TV and to your podcast. The Waterboy and his friend Jeremy have been working on building a podcast hosting solution for rowdy platforms like CrossPolitic, so you can be confident your podcast will never fall through that glass bridge. Dropwave.io offers seamless onboarding for shows that have been around for years to easy-use solutions for starting your own podcast. Dropwave.io will track all your show's downloads by city, state, and country, and it offers network and enterprise packages for solutions like the Fight Laugh Feast network. Free to speak, free to podcast, free to start your journey now at dropwave.io.
I was watching the Republican National Convention, and I'm just gonna vomit this out, so this is all gonna be all over the place, so forgive me. But I was watching the Republican National Convention. By the way, it was amazing. Did you guys watch it?
It was pretty well polished.
The
production was pretty amazing.
I watched Trump's acceptance speech.
Yeah.
It was long.
On double speed.
Had some massive failures in his speech, I think, but overall it was a good speech. I think the first 20 minutes, he could just stopped after that. First 20 or 30 minutes.
His story on him getting shot was pretty
This was not a convention that was around a political idea as much as it was a memorial around a great man. But I think it was more about the man than it was about just a Republican itself. And so, like in one sense, the platform is getting absorbed by an identity. And I think not just in the phrase
and an identity, the guy that just survived an assassination attempt.
Amazing.
And then stood up and said, "Fight."
I mean, there hasn't been a character in political life that has had that type of masculinity around him. I don't think I can remember anything in my lifetime outside of Reagan. You know, I was a kid for that had that kind of masculinity built in. Bush had a moment after 9/11 where you were like, look at that man. He comes walking up there. We're not going to let him do this. We're going to come. We're going to fight you. I'll do it. Take my money, man. I'm in. Right. And there was a strong masculinity. So it was really amazing to see this. And I was like, wow. Now that's not giving a pass to a lot of the things that happened there that was bad. But watching him come after the convention and give this talk, I believe this is Michigan, where he's talking about Project 2025.
Right.
When he started talking about the radicals, and I lined up inside of his radical.
Right.
I expect to hear.
Oh, that's me.
Yes, I expect to hear the left talk like that.
Yeah.
I expect to hear my enemies talk like that because to them, I'm absolutely radical. But someone who I thought understood my narrative, I don't expect him to talk like that about me publicly. Right? This to me is a little disappointing because I just got done cheering for you, bro.
Yeah.
You got my attention.
Yeah.
And now I'm the radical, just like
You're the radical
AOC.
Right. Yeah.
I'm the radical right. I thought this was basic common. And so the
40 million evangelicals are the radical right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is really important to me because I remember, can't remember exactly the time frame, so forgive me. But I remember when the Democratic Party still had Christians in it. I remember when people were arguing about, hey, you can't be in this party anymore. They're going to go without you. Now, at this point, God is still in their platform. They're still talking about, some of them are still pro-life.
Yeah, there was pro-life Democrats for a number of years.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And this is growing up. And then at some point, I remember, this is 2000s, early 2000s, they removed God out their platform. And all the conservative Christians said, we tried to tell you that the platform moved beyond you. And you have to come up with some sort of plan now. Are you going to continue to build for them and what they develop? Or are you going to go ahead and say, we got to do something else, right? And if you decide to do that, there's room for you over here, even though we have some disagreements. I think we might be at that point. I don't, and here's why this is challenging for me. I haven't settled this yet, but this is what I'm thinking about. We can't look at them and see their platform move beyond them and then see our platform moving beyond us and calling us radical and not say, okay, what is the point that we decide to say that is a bridge too far?
Yeah,
Why am I talking like Trump?
That is a bridge.
That is a bridge.
That's a bridge.
Too
It's the
far.
greatest bridge ever. Too far.
Long bridge. Very bad. But because
when's the expiration date?
Yes, because if Trump just moved the party central, which he just did, he moved it to the center. You were saying this before the show. He might be the conservative Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Right? Like, do we have those clips? Look at this.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws.
Famous line.
It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Yeah. Who was in that room? Who was in that room?
Bill Clinton's a Republican now.
Joe Biden.
Yeah,
it's true.
Clapping, probably. Deportation. We're going to deport.
Doubling it up.
Yeah.
Faster.
Yeah, even more. You said this might be, Trump might be a conservative Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Or Bill Clinton 2.0. I wouldn't say conservative. They're very similar.
But remember, Bill Clinton signed DOMA.
Defense of Marriage Act.
Trump would not sign DOMA.
Bill,
probably.
That's it.
Well, they just took it out of the platform to become more centric, right?
I know, but I'm saying Bill Clinton signed Defense of Marriage Act. Defense of Marriage Act. That marriage is one man and one woman.
That's right.
That means that the 2024 Republican Party is more liberal than Bill Clinton.
Okay, so play the other clip by Bill Clinton.
As a nation, our goal should be to protect individual freedom while fostering responsible decision-making. An approach that seeks to protect the right to choose while reducing the number of abortions. Our vision should be of an America where abortion is safe and legal, but rare.
Abortion is never safe.
60 million babies. Yeah,
never
it's never
safe.
safe.
Never safe. Someone's always murdered.
How do you keep the dead baby from being safe?
So William Wolf put me on blast. Not really, but he made me think about this because I'm like, ooh, this is scary. I've seen these before. Like, all of my senses are going off. Right. I've seen this before.
Right.
Now, the first thing that when I saw Trump say, hey, Project 25 is like, these are extremists, right?
Yeah.
Far right.
Radical right.
Radical right. I'm thinking to myself, okay, and I'm watching the Republican platform take out the definition of a man and a woman.
And Rubio and Vance are bowing in front of it.
At what point do they take God out of the platform? Oh, I sound radical and crazy. They would never do that.
Because the Democrats.
They would never.
The Democrats did that, and I think it was 2008?
Yeah, it was
when Obama got elected.
So look at this. I think Wolf is right. We have more people. I think Pastor Wilson is right. He talked about this too. We have more conservative Christian nationalist people inside of the political platform than we've ever had before.
That's true.
I'm still talking like Trump. Ever have before. It's beautiful. I love it. It's great. At the same time, the degradation of the platform is happening as fast as the advancement of Christians inside of it.
Yeah.
So,
so likely a lot of those people might be appointed under Trump's administration.
Right. But my question is, are they going to be like Vance?
Yeah.
Because when you get into politics, you have to play the game to get stuff done. Right? Like there's holes in the roof. Yeah, okay, so we'll move this, we'll parlay this one, we'll try and get that one done. What's the play here? Because maybe they'll come back. Look, if the thing is moving center while we're in it, we've been in 50, 60 years inside the political realm?
Yeah.
While we are in there now more, the party keeps moving further away from us. Right. So then at what point do you say, okay, we got to rip the cord and get out of here? Or how far do we go? What's the play here? Can we trust this party?
You're specifically addressing how long should Christians be a part of the Republican Party?
We're the radicals.
Well, we're already not in the driver's seat,
right? And we haven't been.
And that's one of the points that William Wolf made that I thought was really helpful. That he said, that in the original resurgence, sort of conservative resurgence, the religious right.
That was very helpful.
Falwell Sr. and so forth. We were riding the coattails of the neocon movement.
George Bush.
Yeah. And maybe, he said, and maybe in some respects, we got stronger language under them. But his point was, but we got relatively little done over the course of those, 20, 30 years, 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. We were patsies.
His argument is that now we've switched largely. The evangelical right has largely jumped on the Trump wagon, so to speak. But now we're riding the coattails of the Trump movement, this populist conservative movement.
Right. We have a better ear to talk to.
And he's saying, and in some ways the language has softened and weakened, marriage, abortion, so forth. But his argument was he thinks that we were actually going to get more done with the populist movement.
He might be right about that.
I found that.
But we got to have a strategy for both of these because the platform.
And at what point do you know that's not true?
Yes.
At what point do you know?
I think that's the first question.
They're using you, and you're not actually accomplishing anything.
Because one thing that the abolitionist movement, this is really fun to see too, because abolitionists are kind of like, wait a second.
Yeah, they're all split on this.
They're split on this.
Yeah.
And rightly so, because the abolitionist movement has seen this particular play where, we're pro-life. Why don't you get anything done?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep playing back? You keep giving them all this room, and then you're not getting anything done. Put something forth and stand there on it and fight for it.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, at what point?
One really helpful test case on this would be, let's get one of these states. Let's get Dusty Devers in Oklahoma, or maybe Louisiana tries to run the play again, and we actually pass an abolition bill. Let's pass a complete outlawing of abortion. One of these states. Yeah. Idaho's really close to that. We have a near ban.
Yeah.
That's currently being, I think, adjudicated by the Supreme Court. But let's get a full one. Let's get the end abortion now, brothers. Let's get them. Let's get Dusty Devers to pass something in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And according to this Trump platform, states have the freedom. To protect life.
So we're to play inside the rules.
So let's do it and test it.
Yeah.
And now what happened, of course, was when Arizona dug up that one old law that said that abortion was illegal.
And death penalty or something.
Trump came out and was like, well, that's crazy and extreme. We shouldn't allow it. Like, he was against that. But it's like, but the platform says states are free to protect life. 14th Amendment.
Right.
But I think that would be a kind of a test case. would be actually do what it says. It says we are free to ban abortion and protect life in our states.
Well, each state platform, Republican platform, kind of has its own unique emphasis or twist on it. And Idaho has an abortion language in it. Idaho has Christian language in it. Idaho has, I think, marriage between a man and woman is in Idaho's GOP platform. So, the states' rights thing, to me, the one thing I like that's refreshing about it is you're actually able to it's kind of a local governance policy or a state governance policy, and at the same time, there's real contrast at the state level between California's Republican Party platform and Idaho. That's super healthy, I think.
Right.
I think Joe McDermott got it right. That hurts a little bit to say. But I still love Joe. He just don't love me no more. He wrote a book called Restoring America One County at a Time.
I think we had him on here.
I think to talk about that book years ago.
Yeah.
That book to me really is the play, right? It is what did we lose?
Yeah.
What is it? What did we lose and how do we get it back? And he goes to that and he basically says the play is always at a county level and we store America from that county level all the way up.
Yep.
Now, I'm not trying to say, and I don't think he would make the argument either, that we forget about what things that are at the federal level.
Yep.
But if there's ever a time to say what happens at our local county level is extremely important, this would be that time, because at some point, if the Republican Party absolutely moves past us in the next 20 years or more, whatever we've built at the county level that's strong is going to be the only thing that we have to push against it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if we aren't building at a very local level, very deep roots, very great platforms there, then we're not going to have anything to push back with at all. Right. When the Christian Democrats got kicked out of the Democratic Party, they had nothing.
Yeah.
They had nothing.
Right.
And if we're just building at a federal level and not really strong at a county level, Christianity, not just a Republican platform, but Christian platform, and we're not building there, when they decide to be done with us, because obviously the platform is going to follow the leader at this point, which I thought it was going to be the other way around, we better have something to say, no, we're not going with you. We're digging our heels in here and you don't have us.
Yeah.
And county by county has the rebellion and not at the federal level.
I think that's straight up. That's exactly right. I also think Christians do need to remember that we are not. I mean, I was saying before the show, but there was a number of elections I didn't vote for Republicans.
Yeah.
Because I subscribed to the view that if God wanted me to vote, He would have given me candidates.
Yeah.
And if there's not a reasonable candidate, I don't vote for him.
Yeah.
I agree with that sentiment, but also in the politics of the Old Testament, there was obviously pragmatic, tactical plays that would happen.
Yeah.
With David, with who's David's cousin? Joab. Joab, was Joab his cousin? Yeah, okay. John Blake's. But there was obviously tactical and practical political moves that they would make where, in some sense, I think we have this kind of idealistic Christian way of sorting through our politics.
Sure.
But I look at and I read David and I'm like, okay, why is he doing this? I would have a hard time voting that way today if it was that happening.
Well,
and we're just gonna stop right there.
Yeah.
No, I think there's so much more to say about it, but I think we have to at least be mindful of where we are in the story, what's the story, and how we're going to play this game. But to act like all of a sudden, just because we have more people inside the Republican Party is going in a good direction, I think that's not necessarily true. The platform is telling you what it's doing, and we better be building an alternative or figuring out how to go deep where we at to pull back the party in any kind of direction from going center. Yeah. Because I think they're right. Trump never changed. Yeah. Elon Musk is still center.
Yeah. Joe Rogan Has
is
Joe
center.
Rogan changed?
None of them have changed.
Bill Maher?
A lot of these guys, they're center.
Yeah.
And the fact that we line up with them should scare us a little bit, because it tells us that we're actually not moving right. We're moving far more center than we think.
Well, and we aren't to let the wind blow us any
everything's
direction.
so insane. It's like center seems so much better than.
That's right.
Is that really a boy? All right. If you're single, get married. If you're married, have you some kids. And if you have kids, go baptize them. Until tomorrow, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politic.